Hello, this is Faryia from my channel Entertainment Vlogs Faryia. Today I'm gonna tell you about 10 popular countries in the world. Now I'm going to tell you about France. France in Western Europe encompasses medieval cities, alpine villages, and Mediterranean beaches. Paris is the capital of France. It is famous for its fashion houses, classical art, and museum, the Louvre, the largest museum in the world, and monuments like Eiffel Tower. The country also renowned for its wines and sophisticated cuisine. France officially is French Republic country of northwestern Europe. Historically and culturally among the most important nation in the Western world. France has also played a highly significant role in international affairs, with former colonies in every corner of the globe. France is also famous for the Tour de France and the Eiffel. Symbols such as the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, the Cathedral of the Notre Dame, the Little Quarter, Montmartre, and the gorgeous Pompidou Center make Paris one of the most visited places in the world. France has 5 facts. Population 67.2 million people live in the country. Its capital 22.2 million inhabitants. It's a government democracy. Its language is French. Mainly Christians are there. France is a very expensive country. If you go for the typical metropolitan apartment, residents can spend up to 50% of monthly salary on rent alone in cities such as Paris and Lyon. If buying property in France, taxes tend to be much lower than other countries, especially compared to the UK. France is indeed a powerful country in the EU. France has the most extensive military capabilities comprising nuclear attack submarines, an aircraft carrier, a stockpile of ballistic missiles, long-range nuclear missiles. France is indeed a powerful country. France people who are French, they eat mixed salad, soup, some terrine or pate, a main course, typically a choice of meat or fish with potatoes, rice, pasta, or vegetables. It is the largest country in the European Union and the third largest country in Europe overall. The country is located in Western Europe with Paris as its capital. The overseas regions are considered part of France and have equal representation in the country. France food makes France so special. It has an outstanding reputation with food good reason. Dining in France is a wonderful experience. The French have the utmost respect for their food, matching suitable flavors and accompanying meals with just the right wine. The cheapest city in France are Metz, Versailles, and Montpellier, and the most expensive cities are Paris, Lyon, Marseille, Nice, Bordeaux. France is so famous because of its very beautiful places in the world. People visit it from the numerous tourist attractions, cities of cultural interest such as Paris and Strasbourg, the spectacular beaches, the French Alps, the language, the food, and so much more. France is a very beautiful city in the whole world. It is a city of cultural interest such as Paris and Strasbourg. Let's take a closer look at 9 absolutely wonderful places in France that attract a part of 86 million visitors each year. Number 1, Disneyland Paris. Disneyland Paris, originally called Euro Disney Resort, has been drawing crowds from all over the world. Currently, it is the number 1 tourist attraction in all of France and Europe, even beating out the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre. It is also the 16th most popular tourist attraction in the world. Number 2, the Eiffel Tower. Originally constructed as the entrance to the 1889 World's Fair to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the French Revolution. Today, it is what people think of first when they think of France. Measuring 321 meters tall, the equivalent to 81 stories, the Eiffel Tower serves not only as a national monument and major tourist attraction but also as an observation and radio broadcast tower. Number 3, the Louvre and art. It has a long and sordid history, which we know today is not only one of the largest museums in the world, housing over 460,000 pieces of art and artifacts. It is also one of the most visited galleries on the planet. In 2014 alone, it received over 9.3 million visitors. Initially built as a fortress in the late 12th century, it was converted to the main residence of the French king in the 16th century. And the fourth one is Palace Versailles, the King Palace, transformed from a humble hunting lodge by Louis. The now familiar Versailles Palace with emphasized royal elegance. Every year, over 3 million people travel to Versailles to see how former French royalty lived. Everywhere you look is an amazing delight. It is embellished by a generation of lavish gardens, landscape, architecture, sculptures, decorations, art, and more. Some of the more popular things to see the palace include the state apartments, the incredible Hall of Mirrors, the Versailles Gardens, and the Trianions. Number 5, the Tour de France. For over 100 years, since 1903, the Tour de France has been attracting spectators from around the world. Not only is the Tour de France the globe's biggest bike race, it's also the largest sporting event on the planet. For 3 weeks during part of June and July, people from all over the globe flock to France to watch bicyclists race. Mostly around France is in a collection of phases. In a typical year's race, the Tour de France can attract roughly 12 million spectators along the route of the race. The sixth one is French cheese. We have heard of brie, camembert, and blue cheese. In terms of types of French cheese, that's just a tip of iceberg. Now I'm going to tell you about United States. Officially, United States of America, abbreviated US or USA, by name America. Country in North America, a federal republic of 50 states. Beside the 48 conterminous states that occupy the middle latitudes of the continent, the United States include the state of Alaska at the northwestern extreme of North America and the island state of Hawaii. In the mid-Pacific Ocean, the conterminous states are bounded on the north by Canada, on the east by the Atlantic Ocean, on the south by the Gulf of Mexico, and on the west by the Pacific Ocean. The United States is the fourth largest country in the world in area. The national capital is Washington. The US spends more on its military than the next seven highest ranking countries in military spending combined. The Internet was first conceptualized in the US state. The US owns the global positioning system. The major characteristics of the United States is probably its great variety. Its physical environment ranges from the Arctic to the subtropical, from the moist rainforest to the arid desert, from the rugged mountain peak to the flat prairie. Although the total population of the United States is large by world standards, its overall population density is relatively low. The country embraces some of the world's largest urban concentrations as well as some of the most extensive areas that are almost devoid of habitation. The United States contains a highly diverse population, unlike a country such as China that largely incorporated indigenous people. The United States has a diversity that to a great degree has come from an immense and sustained global immigration. Probably no other country has a wider range of racial, ethnic, and cultural types than does the United States. In addition to the presence of surviving Native Americans, including American Indian and Eskimos, and the descendants of Africans taken slaves to the New World, the national character has been enriched, tested, and constantly redefined by the tens of millions of immigrants who, by and large, have come to America hoping for greater social, political, and economic opportunities than they had in the places they left. The United States is the world's greatest economic power, measured in terms of gross domestic product. The nation's wealth is partly a reflection of its rich natural resources and its enormous agricultural output, but it owes more to the country's highly developed industry. Despite its relative economic self-sufficiency in many areas, the United States is the most important single factor in the world trade by virtue of the sheer size of its economy. Its export and imports represent major proportion of the world total. The United States also impinges on the global economy as a source of and as a destination for investment capital. The country continues to sustain an economic life that is more diversified than any other on earth, providing the majority of its people with one of the world's highest standards of living. The United States is made of so many diverse destinations that it's hard to decide which places deserve the destination of the best in America. The places are Grand Canyon National Park, Yellowstone National Park, Central Park, Yosemite National Park, Walt Disney World Resort, Disney Park, and many more others are the great famous places of USA. US culture has also been shaped by the culture of Native Americans, Latin Americans, American, and Asians. The United States is sometimes described as the melting pot in which different cultures have contributed their own distinct flavor to American culture. Now I'm going to tell you about Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a country in Western Asia constituting the bulk of Arabian Peninsula. Saudi Arabia is geographically the largest sovereign state in Western Asia, the second largest in the Arab world after Algeria. Saudi Arabia is bordered by Jordan and Iraq to the north, Kuwait to the northeast, Qatar, Bahrain, and the United Arab Emirates to the east, Oman to the southeast, and Yemen to the south. It is separated from Egypt and Israel by the Gulf of Aqaba. It is the only country with both a Red Sea coast and a Persian Gulf coast, and the most of its territory consists of arid desert, lowland, and mountains. Saudi economy was the largest in the Middle East and the 18th largest in the world. Saudi Arabia also has one of the world's youngest population. 50% of its 33.4 million people are under 25 years old. Saudi Arabia was the site of several ancient cultures and civilizations. The prehistory of Saudi Arabia shows some of the earliest traces of human activity in the world. The world's second largest religion, Islam, emerged in modern day Saudi Arabia. In the early 7th century, the Islamic prophet, peace be upon him, united the population of Arabia and created a single Islamic religious polity. So, Saudi Arabia has become the world's second largest oil producer behind the US and the world's largest oil exporter, controlling the world's second largest oil reserves and the sixth largest gas reserves. The kingdom is characterized as a World Bank high-income economy with a high Human Development Index and is the only Arab country to be part of major economies. Saudi Arabia has centuries-old attitudes and traditions, often derived from Arab civilization. The main factors that influence the culture of Saudi Arabia are Islamic heritage and Bedouin traditions, as well as its historical role as an Asian trade center. Saudi Arabia is one of the few countries that have religious police, known as the Mutawin or Haya, who patrol the streets enjoining goods and forbidding wrong by enforcing dress codes, strict separation of man and woman, attendance at prayer 5 times each day, the ban on alcohol and other aspects of Sharia, Islamic law. Football is the national sport in Saudi Arabia, considered as one of the Asia's most successful national teams, having reached a joint record. Saudi Arabian cuisine is similar to that of the surrounding countries in the Arabian Peninsula and the wider Arab world, and has influenced and been influenced by Turkish, Indian, Persian, and African food. The history of Saudi Arabia in its current form as a state began with its foundation in 1744, although the history of the region extends as far as 20,000 years ago. The region has had a global impact twice in the world history. In the 7th century, it became the cradle of Islam and the capital of the Islamic. From mid-20th century, the discovery of vast oil deposits propelled it into a key economic and geopolitical role. The region existed in relative obscurity and isolation, although from the 7th century, the cities of Mecca and Medina had the highest spiritual significance for the Muslim world, with Mecca becoming the destination for the Hajj and obligations at least once in a believer's lifetime, if all possible. Saudi Arabia is very safe for the tourists, as with travel to any other country in the world. They are very respectful of local rules and customs. Be mindful of your surroundings and carry out due diligence before traveling. Drugs trafficking, smuggling, or even personal use of drugs is illegal in Saudi Arabia and can even result in the death penalty. Music is considered sinful or haram by some Muslims, including Salah al-Budair, who is the Imam of the Grand Mosque in Medina. Smoking is banned in Saudi Arabia. Most public places, restaurants, coffee shops, supermarkets, and shopping centers. The Saudi Arabia destinations for the tourists are Farsanan Island, Al-Huda Mountains, Al-Kharj, Al-Qatif, Al-Habala, Tuba, King Abdullah Economic City, Khyber, Half Moon Bay, Sakaka, Onazina, Al-Sauda, Haql, Al-Shafa, Al-Namas, Taima, Arar, Farsan, Hafar al-Batin, Duma al-Jandal, Tarot Island, Al-Wajah, Beaches and Histories, Al-Jubail, and much more for the visitors. Now I'm going to tell you about China. Officially, the People's Republic of China is a country in East Asia. It is the world's most populous country with a population of around 1.4 billion in covering approximately 9.6 million square kilometers. It is the world's third or fourth largest country by area. China is an amazing destination for tourists. There is the world's longest wall, the Great Wall of China, the world's largest collection of 2000 years old life-size figurines, and the world's largest ancient palace, the Forbidden City. With more than 4,000 years of recorded history, China is one of the few existing countries that also flourished economically and culturally in the earliest stages of world civilization. Indeed, despite the political and social upheavals that frequently have ravaged the country, China is unique among nations in its longevity and reliance as a discrete politico-cultural unit. Much of China's cultural development has been accomplished with relatively little outside influence, the introduction of Buddhism from India constituting a major exception. Even when the country was penetrated by such barbarian people as the Manchu, these groups soon became largely absorbed into the fabric of Han Chinese culture. This relative isolation from the outside world made possible over the centuries the flowering and refinement of the Chinese culture, but it also left China ill-prepared to cope with the world when, from the mid-19th century, it was confronted by technologically superior foreign nations. There followed a century of decline and decrepitude as China found itself relatively helpless in the face of foreign onslaught. The trauma of this external challenge became the catalyst for a revolution that began in the early 20th century against the old regime and culminated in the establishment of a communist government in 1949. This event reshaped global political geography, and China has since come to rank among the most influential countries in the world. China is a safe country to travel around, and most people you meet are friendly, honest, and trustworthy. However, China is far from immune to crime. The weather can affect travel plans and accidents do happen. China is well known for its factory of the world. It is known as the factory of the world. It is the world's largest producer of concrete, steel, fertilizer, clothing, and toys. It is the largest manufacturing economy and exporter of goods. It is also the world's fastest growing consumer market and second largest importer of goods. As China's economic importance has grown, so has attention to the structure and health of the economy. Pakistan is China's best friend and have long praised the close ties the two countries have with each other. China has the world's second highest number of billionaires with total wealth of 996 billion. The most important cities of China is Beijing, capital, and Shanghai, largest city of population. The climate in China varies greatly. The north is cooler and drier than the south, and the west is drier than the east. Winter temperatures in northeast China can reach 40 degrees centigrade, while summer in the south can be 40. Rainfall varies from a few millimeters per year in the Taklamakan Desert over 3 meters a year in the southeast. China is an amazing destination for tourists. There are many historical and natural cities. They are the world's longest wall, the Great Wall of China, the world's largest collection of 2000 years old life-size figurines, the Terracotta Army, and the world's largest ancient palace, the Forbidden City. There are also beautiful Gulian, the splendid Yangtze River, the renowned Yellow Mountains, the lovely pandas, and the beaches in Sanya. About 35 million Chinese lives in caves. It is a Chinese architectural style dating back to the Stone Age. Chinese in many areas appreciate underground and cave dwellings since they are cheaper to build, easier to warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Chinese invented the first kind of football saucer, and 10 kites were invented in China. The Chinese have been flying kites for nearly 3,000 years ago. It is said that two philosophers invented them in the 5th century BC. Chinese people write by drawing pictures. Chinese characters are also known as Hanzi. It is a pictographic writing system and is the oldest continuously used writing system in the world. Its history is dated back to as far as the Shang dynasty, when they were inscribing ideograph on oracle bones. Chinese characters are used by more than a billion people. Over the centuries, the pictures became more and more stylized and less recognizable, though you can often guess the meaning. Trying to draw a character is fun. Now I'm telling you about Italy, a country of South Central Europe occupying a peninsula that just deep into the Mediterranean Sea. Italy comprises some of the most varied and scenic landscape on earth, and is often described as a country shaped like a boot. And its broad tops stand the Alps, which are among the world's most rugged mountains. Italy's highest points are along Monte Rosa, which peaks in Switzerland, and along Mont Blanc, which peaks in France. The Western Alps overlook a landscape of alpine lakes and glacier-curved valleys that stretch down to the Po River and the Piedmont. The Italy capital is Rome, one of the oldest of the world's great cities and a favorite of visitors, who go there to see its great monuments and work of art, as well as to enjoy the city-famed Dolce Vita or sweet life. Other major cities include the industrial and fashion center of Milan, Genoa, a handsome port on the Ligurian Gulf, the sprawling southern metropolis of Naples, and Venice, one of the world's oldest tourist destinations. Surrounded by Rome is an independent state, Vatican City, which is the seat of the Roman Catholic Church and the spiritual home of Italy's overwhelmingly Catholic population. Each of those cities and countless smaller cities and towns has retained its differences against the leveling effect of the mass media and standardized education. Thus, many Italians, particularly older ones, are inclined to think of themselves as belonging to families, then neighborhoods, then towns or cities, then regions, and then last as member of a nation. The intellectual and moral faculties of humankind have found a welcome home in Italy, one of the world's most important centers of the religion, visual arts, literature, music, philosophy, culinary arts, and sciences. There are about 1,500 lakes in Italy. The most common type is the small elevated alpine lake, formed by a quaternary glacial excavation during the last 25,000 years. These are of major importance for hydroelectric schemes. Other lakes such as Bolsena and Albano in Lazio occupy the character of extinct volcanoes. There are also coastal lagoons such as Lakes Lesina and Verano in Puglia and lake resulting from prehistoric faulting such as Lake near Bellino, the best known, largest and most important of the Italian lakes, however, are those cut into valleys of the Alpine foothills by quaternary glaciers. Italy can be divided into seven main climatic zones. The most northerly, the Alpine zone, has a continental mountain climate, with temperature lower and rainfall higher in the east than in the west. The Po Valley has hot summers but severe winters, worse in the interior than toward the eastern coast. Italian is the native language for Italy, but around 29% of the population speaks English. In America, where Spanish is the second most commonly spoken language, when you count native speakers and Spanish students, only about 16% of the population speak it. When you are considering what to call people from Italy, it's likely that you all know the English version, Italians. You may even know the Italian word, Italiani, but the real answer is a bit more complicated. Italy is famous for its huge contributions to the world of art, architecture, fashion, opera, literature, design, and film. The list goes on, and we haven't even mentioned the food yet. Italy has yet only been a country since 1871. Italy is a cheap, safe, and reliable city and connects the entire country from the north to south. It is easy to have a great meal anywhere in Italy, but it's also easy to eat for less than €15 a day if you make the effort. Most restaurants' meals with wine will cost around €25. Italy people doesn't like burp or fart in public. It is considered extremely rude. Also loud swearing, drinking alcohol from a bottle while walking the street. It's free known open. Most Italians like some alcohol but usually avoid to get drunk. Italians expect to be respected and will respect you. Now I'm gonna tell you about Spain, located in extreme southwestern Europe. It occupies about 85% of Iberian Peninsula. In New Year tradition, eating 12 green grapes at midnight is thought to bring good luck. Spain has no national anthem lyrics. According to Spanish legend, when children lose a baby tooth, a mouse will exchange it for presents. The Spanish town Bonol hosts an annual tomato throwing festival called La Tomatina. Spain is a storied country of stone castles, snow-capped mountains, vast monuments, and sophisticated cities, all of which have made it a favorite travel destination. The country is geographically and culturally diverse. The southern portion of the country is desert, an extension of the Sahara made familiar to Americans through the spaghetti western film of the 1960s and early 70s. Lime with palm trees, rosemary bushes, and other tropical vegetation. The southeastern Mediterranean coast and the Balearic Islands enjoy a gentle climate, drawing millions of visitors and retirees, especially from northern Europe. The northwest is the Cantabrian Mountains, a rugged range in which heavily forested, rain-swept valleys are interspersed with all tall peaks. Spain is famous for its musical culture and traditional folkways. The Catalonian capital of Barcelona for its secular architecture and maritime industry, and the national capital of Madrid for its winding streets, its museums and bookstores, and its around-the-clock lifestyle. Madrid is Spain's largest city and is also its financial and cultural center, and it has been for hundreds of years. Various cultures that have gone into making of Spain, those of Romans, Arabs, Jews, and Roma, among other peoples, are renowned for their varied cuisines, custom, and prolific contributions to the world artistic heritage. Spain is characterized by overlap of one fundamental climate division between humid and semi-arid and arid zone by another maritime. The proximity of Africa has given Spain more African species of wildlife than are found in the other Mediterranean peninsulas, while the Pyrenean barrier and the general extent of the country explain the number of indigenous species. Spain has been invaded and inhabited by many different people. The peninsula was originally settled by groups from North Africa and Western Europe. The official language of Spain is Castilian. It is the country's most widely spoken language, and outside Spain it is generally known as Spanish. Roman Catholicism became the official religion in Spain in 1589 and has been closely identified with the country ever since. Spain has moderate amount of sunshine that makes people feel happier and prevent depression. These are good reason of visit Spain, which is one of the countries that is blessed with a lot of sunshine. They are famous for its red wine and as well as white. The Mediterranean diet rich in olive oil, fish and fresh vegetables. The Spanish healthcare system is renowned for being among the very best in the world. The Spain has so much beautiful cities such as Barcelona, Madrid, Seville, Granada, Majorca, Ibiza, Valencia, Palma, Costa del Sol, Ronda, Bilbao, Toledo, Barbilla, and etc. Now I'm going to tell you about Turkey. You probably didn't know Turkey's real name. You might have been confused about which city is the capital, and you probably thought tulips came from the Netherlands. It turned out you were probably wrong. There's a lot more to Turkey than meets the eye. Between the beaches and bustling markets lie a wealth of interesting history filled with religious and literary figures, civil war, and a multitude of languages. The country, now known as the Republic of Turkey, was part of the Ottoman Empire until the empire broke up in the aftermath of the First World War. Now the official name is actually the Republic of Turkey. The first ever Christian church was located in Antioch, Turkey. This makes it the oldest place of Christian worship in the world. You can still visit the church and see the traces of an ancient decoration today. Santa Claus was born in Patara, Turkey. The man we know as Santa Claus was born in Patara, Turkey in around 300 AD. A holy man, people believe he performed many miracles in his lifetime, including saving sailors from sinking ships. Not only did tales of his generosity become the basis of Santa Claus, but St. Nicholas also became one of the patron saints of sailors. The name Santa Claus comes from the Dutch Sinterklaas, a shortened version of Saint Nicholas. There are over 30 languages spoken in Turkey. Although the official language in the Turkey is Turkish, there are over 30 minority languages spoken across the country, including Kurmanji, Arabic, and Zazaki. Istanbul Grand Bazaar has 64 streets and 4,000 shops, one of the oldest and largest markets in the world. The Grand Bazaar welcomes up to 4,000 visitors a day. It's often described as one of the oldest shopping malls in the existence. There is no desert in Turkey, so no native camels. Despite this, camel trains once crossed the country on the way to trading posts in Africa and Asia, and camel racing, a popular sport in the Aegean region of Turkey. Tulip is the national flower of Turkey, available in a huge variety of bright colors, including white, yellow, pink, red, and black, purple, orange, bicolors, and multicolors. Tulips are also considered as the king of bulbs. Turkey is not only the beautiful place, but it's also famous for its beautiful textile. The famous Prince Island is among the major tourist attractions in Istanbul, Turkey. Best thing here is the silence. Horse-drawn carriages and bicycles are available instead of motorized vehicle. The landscape of Prince Island make it one of the best places to visit in Turkey for those who seek peace and solitude. In fact, travelers sometimes end up spending as long as 6 to 7 days in Turkey, only to see the charm of the Prince Island. Cappadocia is one of the best places to visit in Turkey. Explore the place with a horse ride, take an air balloon ride, and don't forget to sip on Turkish tea. It is one of the best cities in Turkey that will leave you in awe of it. This is one place you must surely explore if you are visiting Turkey. If you are going to Istanbul, don't forget to visit the iconic Hagia Sophia Museum, one of the most popular tourist attractions in Turkey. A church built by Emperor Justinian in the 6th century, it was converted to a mosque after some 900 years. It is one of the most beautiful mosques in Istanbul and one of the best places to visit in Turkey. The Ottomania is Turkey's largest retailer of carpets and rugs. The prices of the carpet range from 1,000 to 10,000. Turkey is known for its handicraft and handmade rugs and carpets. Although Christianity has a long tradition in Turkey, Islam is the largest current religion in Turkey according to the state, with 98% of the population being automatically registered by the state as Muslim. For anyone whose parents are not of any other officially recognized religion and remaining 1% are not religious. Now I'm going to tell you about London. The capital of England and the United Kingdom is a 21st century city with history stretching back to Roman times. At its center stand the imposing House of Parliament, the iconic Big Ben clock tower, and Westminster Abbey, site of British monarch coronations. According to the Thames River, the London Eye observation wheel provides panoramic views of the South Bank Cultural Complex and the entire city. The eye-catching of London places are the British Museum, Tower of London, Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, Tower Bridge. These all are the best places to visit in London. London is a leading global city. It is the world's largest financial center alongside New York and is home to the headquarters of more than 100 of Europe's 500 largest companies. It has the most international visitors of any city in the world. There are over 300 languages spoken in London, more than any other city in the world. There are more than 22,000 music performances a year across London. 300 plus venues including the O2 Arena, the world's most popular music venue. London has over 192 museums with 11 national museums including the British Museum, home to thousands of years of culture including the Rosetta Stone. Over 197 festivals take place in London every year, including the largest free festival, the Mayors Thames Festival, and Europe's biggest street festival, the Notting Hill Carnival, which attracts near 1 million people. London presents more live comedy than any other city in the world, from hosting new talent in the back rooms of to the likes of Chris Rocks and Steve Cogan in major arenas. London dominates the UK visual art sector, which counts for 30% of the global art market. London has played a major role in countless films from A Clockwork Orange to Harry Potter and is the world's third busiest film production center with over 14,000 shooting days, including the 24th Bond film Spectre filmed here at City Hall. Wilton's Music Hall in the city is the world's oldest surviving music hall, built in 1743 and is still a living piece of London musical history. London has more than 800 bookshops and over 325 public libraries, including the British Library, which holds the Magna Carta. The London Design Festival is now the world-leading event of its kind, which attracted over people to innovative projects and cutting-edge design. London is populated from all over the world and the majority are homesick for fresher air, less crowds, warmer skies. They are miserable when they realize there is so much to see and do in London, but they will never have the time nor money to see it all. London is one of the world's most visited cities. London has something for everyone, from history and culture to fine food and exceedingly good times. With such diversity, London's cultural dimension make it among the world's most international cities. The wide range of culture and languages are celebrated in London in many different ways, mainly with amazing food and lively festival. The Asian population of London is concentrated in East and West London. Harrow has the highest Indian population, Redbridge has the highest Pakistani population, and Tower Hamlets has the higher Bangladesh and Chinese population. Newham has the highest total Asian population in London, the 20th London borough with the highest total Asian population. Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, Chinese, and other Asian are listed. Now I'm going to tell you about Pakistan. The Islamic Republic is a country in South Asia. It is the world's fifth most popular country with population. Pakistan has the sixth largest standing armed forces in the world and is also a nuclear power as well as a declared nuclear weapons state. The name Pakistan literally means land of the pure in Urdu and Persian. Pakistan is the only country to have been created in the name of Islam. The idea of Pakistan, which had received overwhelming popular support among Indian Muslims, especially those in the provinces of British India, where Muslims were in a minority, such as the United Provinces, was articulated in terms of an Islamic state by the Muslim League leadership, the Ulama and Jinnah. The geography and climate of Pakistan are extremely diverse, and the country is home to a wide variety of wildlife. Pakistan is divided into three major geographic areas: the Northern Highlands, the Indus River Plain, and the Balochistan. The Northern Highlands contain the Karakoram, Hindu Kush, and Pamir mountain ranges, which contain some of the world's highest peaks, including 5 of the 14 8,000ers, which attract adventurers and mountaineers from all over the world. The diversity of the landscape and climate in Pakistan allows a wide variety of trees and plants to flourish. The forests range from coniferous, alpine, and subalpine trees such as spruce, pine, and cedar in the extreme northern mountains to trees in most of the country. Pakistan has so many beautiful places to visit, such as Lake Seful Mulk, located at the northern end of the Khagan Valley near the town of Naran in the Sefal Mulk National Park. Badshahi Mosque was another was commissioned by the Mughals in 1671. It is listed as a World Heritage Site. Shangri-La Lake with adjoining Shangri-La Resort, fairy meadows and the view of Nanga Parbat. Abtabad Lake, Hawke's Bay Beach, Karachi Minare, Pakistan, and the K2, the second highest mountain on earth. Pakistan motorway infrastructure is best in South Asia and one of the best motorway infrastructure in the world. Motorway of Pakistan are a network of multiple lane high-speed controlled access highways in Pakistan which are owned, maintained and operated federally by Pakistan National Highway Authority. Islamabad is the capital of Pakistan. It is the second most beautiful capital in the world. Most tourists love the northern areas of Pakistan, which include Hunza Valley, Swat, Skardu, Chitral Valley, Murree, Fairy Meadows, and Khanjiriba Pass. Pakistan has the world's largest contiguous irrigation system according to the United Nations. If you play soccer, called football by most people around the world, it's likely you have put a boot into a product made in Pakistan. Workers in the country hence you many of the saucer balls distributed around the world, and as the Atlantic report, roughly 40% of all saucer balls in the world are made in one Pakistan city, Sialkot. Some of the highest mountains in the world are located in Pakistan. The world's second tallest mountain is in the country and has many names. But most people know it simply as K2, standing at 8,611 meters or 28,251 feet. The famous beautiful places in Pakistan is Shalimar Garden, Faisal Mosque, Pakistan Monument, Tomb of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Minar Pakistan, Diwar Fort, Hiran Minar. These all are the most beautiful places in Pakistan. Pakistan is the second largest salt mines. It has the world's largest ambulance network. The world's largest man-made forests are also in Pakistan. Pakistan is one country where trucks are decorated while employing different forms of art that include calligraphy, painting, and ornamental decor. Drivers often use poetry on trucks as means to convey various challenges that they face in their lives. The country is famous for its colorful trucks around the globe, and hence it is one of those tourist attractions that allow Pakistan to be unique. Pakistan mangoes are popular worldwide and is the only country where this fruit is also used for diplomacy and to settle political rivalries. Pakistan possesses a profound blend of landscapes that varies every few kilometers. The country is blessed with plains, desert, mountains, forests, and coastal areas. Now about India. India, country that occupies the greater part of South Asia, its capital is New Delhi. Built in the 20th century just south of the historic hub of Old Delhi to serve as India's administrative center. Its government is a constitutional republic that represents a highly diverse population consisting of thousands of ethnic groups and likely hundreds of languages. With roughly one-sixth of the world's total population, India is the second most populous country after China. India remains one of the most ethnically diverse countries in the world. Apart from its many religions and sects, India is home to innumerable castes and tribes, as well as to more than a dozen major and hundreds of minor linguistic groups from several language families and unrelated to one another. Religious minorities including Muslims, Christians, Sikh, Buddhists, and Jains still count for a significant proportion of the population. Collectively, their number exceeds the population of all countries except China. Contemporary India increasing physical prosperity and cultural dimension despite continued domestic challenges and economic inequality are seen in its well-developed infrastructure and a highly diversified industrial base. In its pool of scientific and engineering personnel, one of the largest in the world, in the place of its agricultural expansion and its rich and vibrant cultural export of music, literature and cinema. India has three of the most populous and cosmopolitan cities in the world: Mumbai, Kolkata, and Delhi. Three other Indian cities, Bangalore, Chennai, Madras, and Hyderabad, are among the world's fastest growing high technology centers, and most of the world's major information technology and software companies now have offices in India. Indian national sport is hockey, but the country is most commonly associated with cricket, which is also a favorite sport of many people across India. In fact, India cricket team has won several world championships, and some of the world's most famous cricket players are Indians. The culture of India refers collectively to the thousands of distinct and unique culture of all regions and communities present in India. Indian languages, religions, dance, music, architecture, food, and custom differ from place to place with the country. India has many more places to visit, such as Taj Mahal, Amber Palace, Red Fort, Hawa Mahal, Agra Fort, Ranthambore National Park, City Palace, Jaipur, Qutub Minar, Ganges, and Humayun's tomb. India has a beautiful green crops that fill our land with greenery. It also has many rivers flowing through fertile soil, a variety of flowers, plants, and animals. The Himalayas decorates India like a majestic crown. India has always been one of the most technologically advanced countries in the world. Kashmir is known as the heaven of India. The natural beauty that exists in the place makes it one of the most beautiful places on earth, and particularly in India. Madhya Pradesh, central state, is better known as the heart of India, not only for its geographical position but more so for its unique cultural history and its rich natural resources. Its official language is Hindi, and also English is also spoken there. India has 47 languages. The economy of India is characterized as a developing market economy. It is the world's fifth largest economy by nominal and the third largest by purchasing power. According to the IMF, on a per capita income basis, India ranked 139 by GDP nominal and 118 by GDP in 2018. The long-term growth perspective of the Indian economy remains positive due to its young population and corresponding low dependency ratio, healthy savings and investment rates, and its increasing integration into the global economy. India ranks second globally in food and agricultural production, while agricultural exports were 38.5 billion. The construction and real estate sector is the second largest employer after agriculture, and a vital sector to gauge economic activity. The Indian textile industry is estimated at 150 billion and contributes 7% of industrial output and 2% of Indian GDPs, while employs over 45 billion people directly. The Indian automobile industry is the world's fourth largest by production. It has 672 billion worth of retail market, which contributes over 10% of Indian GDPs and has one of the world's fastest growing e-commerce market. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe my channel. Do hit the bell icon so that you can see all my new videos.